Hi, this is Dan Ansel, Prudential California Realty. Today is Friday, September 3rd. Just got the most recent multiple listing statistics for August and wanted to share those. It looks like the number of new listings is fairly consistent with what we've had for about the last 4 years. 251 new listings for the month. Pretty consistent with what we've had there. Significantly lower than what we used to have. If you took the previous 5 years before that, it would have been about probably a third higher. There would have been anywhere from 300 to 400 new listings each month. So definitely seeing less new listings coming on the market there. Reason for that, unless somebody really has to sell right now, it's not a real pleasant time to have a house on the market. So you're not seeing the discretionary sellers putting their house up for the market. You're seeing the people who really just have to sell. Number of properties sold, 125. Again, very consistent with what we've had the last 4 years since 2007. It's sort of right in that very consistent number there, but it's about half of what we'd had for the previous 5 years before that. So the number of sales has dropped dramatically, compared to what used to be normal for us. Price changes, 298 for the month. Fairly high, higher than we've seen for the last few years. Sellers are still having a hard time figuring out where the market is and where they need to be priced initially to really get the property moved. So that's why we're seeing the number of price changes still a relatively high number there. Expired listings, 88, pretty consistent with what we've always had. That number hasn't really changed that much there. In Montecito, 48 new listings for the month there. Very consistent with what we've had this past year. It's right in that same number there. Seems to be very consistent there. Price changes, 46. That number's been all over the board. We've seen a low of 14 and a high of 64 during any one month in Montecito, so it bounces around a lot. It's not as consistent as Santa Barbara area as a whole. Number of solds, 18. That is, again, fairly consistent. It's sort of towards the higher end of the number of sales that we've seen. The low has been 11 in the past year, the high has been 22. So again, you would expect sort of during summer months that the number of sales would be a higher number there. So to recap everything, number of sales consistent with the last few years, but down significantly compared to what used to be normal. Number of new listings, very consistent with the last few years, but down significantly compared to what used to be normal. So that's what we've got for August. Expectations for September. It seems like activity is pretty good out there in terms of showings. We'll have to see if those actually translate into opened escrows there. That's it. Have a great long weekend.